Here's an uncomfortable truth most guys do not want to hear. The same girl who might make one guy wait 3 or 4 dates will hook up with another guy the very first night they meet. And no, this is not because of looks, money, or status. After coaching thousands of men, I started seeing the same patterns over and over again. The guys who consistently get laid on the first date do a few key things that the guys who don't completely miss. And once you understand these, dating starts making a lot more sense. Take Logan Paul as the perfect example. He's good looking, rich, famous, has status, yet his fiance publicly admitted to making him wait before sleeping with him while having sex with other guys she met on the first date.
She wouldn't have sex with me.
I know that.
For a while.
Well, it wasn't.
This is something I had to learn the hard way myself. Back when I first got into game, I matched with a girl who I thought was really, really attractive. We went on 3 dates together and I got as far as a makeout. So I figured maybe she's just a prude. Then 5 years later, my game is a lot better and we wound up reconnecting. This time, I closed within an hour of hanging out with her. That experience taught me something very important. The difference between the guys who get laid on the first date and those who don't isn't really luck or chemistry. It comes down to a few very specific things. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what they are so you stop being the guy that she makes wait. Number 1, the frame the date is set under. The guys who have sex on the first date set a very flirty sexual frame from the very beginning. Now, they don't outright say, we're having sex, but they do sort of imply it through things like sexual innuendos and physical compliments. By texting a girl like this, I'm implying something sexual without having to say it outright, which creates the frame that I'm talking about. Now, here's how this whole thing might apply to a cold approach interaction.
I heard you have really nice furniture to chew on. That's the word around North Carolina. Like, yo, this chick has some nice ass fucking furniture.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the guys who don't have sex on the first date are typically too afraid of getting rejected to create this flirty frame. They typically ask the girl out in a safer, either more romantic or even platonic type of way. The underlying vibe is, I just want to take you out. That makes it hard to sleep with her later on because then she feels like you're bait and switching her. Now, even if you get the frame right, there's one other factor that determines whether she's going to sleep with you that night. And this one used to fuck me over constantly. Number 2, whether sex is a big deal. The guys who get laid on the first date all share one thing in common. They just don't view sex as that big of a deal. To them, sex is normal, natural. It's the next logical step after night out. Meanwhile, most guys treat sex like it's this huge event. They get nervous or overly eager, or they get weirdly serious about it, and the girl picks up on that energy instantly, and then she pulls back. But when you stop treating sex like it's some big prize, she stops treating it like one too. I learned this lesson the hard way back in college when I used to think sex was a huge deal. I remember one night there was this girl I made out with a bunch of times at a party, and she texted me at 3 a.m. saying that she wants to come over and just cuddle. So she comes over and then she gets in bed with me, and I just kind of lay there uselessly for 20 minutes just holding her, right? And then eventually she gets frustrated and just starts making out with me. So I kiss her back a little bit, then I get up, I turn the lights off, and I go straight to bed. I fumbled this one really horribly because I thought sex was some sacred thing, and she did very clearly say she wants to cuddle, right? Definitely learned my lesson there. Number 3, whether you're a lover or provider. When a girl meets you, she almost within seconds puts you in one of 2 boxes, lover or provider. And the guys who have sex on the first date are always in the lover box. A lover is the guy that she thinks probably has a lot of sex and is most likely very good in bed. With a lover, she feels a lot of this raw sexual attraction and excitement, so much so sometimes that her logical brain will completely turn off. With a provider, she likes him more on a logical level. He seems like a good catch, he's safe, he's stable, the parents are gonna like him, but she doesn't feel that raw sexual excitement and that attraction she does with a lover. So with him, she kind of slows things down a little bit and quite often denies him sex on the first or second date to see if he's going to stick around to ultimately become her boyfriend or husband. Logan Paul is the perfect example of this. That's why his girlfriend made him wait. And honestly, I was as well. When I met that girl that I told you guys in the beginning of this video, initially I was definitely in the provider box, right? That's why we went on so many dates, but nothing really happened. Then 5 years later, when I met her again, this time I was definitely the lover, which is why her behavior was so much different with me that time. So how do you actually become the lover instead of the provider? A lot of this honestly just comes down to the vibe. A lover is very confident, even borderline cocky, especially with anything sexual. When the topic of sex comes up, he doesn't shy away or get nervous. In fact, he leans into it. He also doesn't take things too seriously. He jokes around a lot, he's playful, he teases, and most importantly, he leads. He has a plan that ends in sex and he's completely unashamed about it. Meanwhile, most guys show up nervous, polite, and trying to win her approval. The lover shows up like he already knows how the night is going to end. And that certainty is very attractive. Number 4, how you escalate and whether you can overcome resistance. The guys who get laid on the first date are very bold with escalation. They kind of pull the girl in, they touch her early, they go for the kiss, and they move things forward physically. They don't really care about social norms or fear rejection. They just kind of go for what they want. Meanwhile, most guys show up to the date and they're waiting for that perfect moment, or they're asking for permission, or sometimes they're not even escalating at all. I see this all the time with coaching clients. They tell me about the perfect date that they had. So I'll ask them, oh cool, did you close? Like, nah, I didn't really think she was DTF. My response is always, well, how do you know if you didn't even try? The guys who succeed always try, usually multiple times. And if they get playful resistance from the girl, like, I don't know if we should, they respond either with humor or by playfully reassuring her, oh, I think we definitely should. And then they continue leading. Now, an important caveat, if a girl gives you a hard no, you should always respect that. But a lot of times the girl's just playfully testing you. Meanwhile, the guys who don't get laid will either just completely take it at face value and completely give up, or they will get into a weird logical debate with her, trying to convince her that they should, which is an instant turnoff. But even if you do all of this right, there's still one thing that can completely kill the lay, and honestly, I think it's one of the dumbest reasons to fail. 5, whether you have logistics sorted. Even if everything else is perfect, bad logistics can still absolutely kill your chances. This is why the guys who get laid on the first date plan ahead. They have a private place nearby that they're ready to go, the vibe is good, the place is clean, there's music playing, and most importantly, they have condoms ready. Meanwhile, most guys just wing it because they either don't believe they're going to be able to close or they're just lazy. And to me, this is like the dumbest reason to mess it all up, because just a little bit of planning can make all the difference in the end. At the end of the day, what happens on the first date isn't usually random. It comes down to the 5 things I mentioned. So do those well, and you can also consistently get laid on the first date. And let me know in the comments which one of these resonated with you the most. And if you want to join thousands of other guys from all across the world who've completely transformed their dating lives, check out my highly rated program. It gives you a full step-by-step system that covers every part of modern dating and everything you need to get results. You will also get access to my private mastermind group where you can get direct help from me whenever you need it. Link in description.